International Women's Day, everyone, and welcome back, juniors and seniors, this week. My name is Madison Sneath, and I wanted to share with you a weekly segment I do to celebrate the accomplishments of women. I've also created a website called We Will Be Girls, which you can find at wewillbegirls.com. This is a platform to educate, empower, and elevate the voices of females, which features writing from students here at NHS and MSA.
She's a woman, and it's her week. Woman of the week.
As the first African-American woman physician to receive a patent for a medical invention, Dr. Patricia E Bath served lives and communities throughout her career. After observing patients as a medical intern, Dr. Bath decided to conduct a study about the connection between race and blindness. She discovered that blindness in Black communities was double than that in white communities. This was because there were unequal resources for proper eye care. To offer a solution, Dr. Bath made a proposition for community ophthalmology, where trained optometrists would give eye checkups to underserved communities. This outreach program provided care to those who never would have received it. Dr. Bath had to face many instances of gender and racial discrimination, but she kept her grit and founded the American Institute for Blindness Prevention in 1977 alongside 3 of her colleagues. This institute established that, quote, eyesight is a basic human right, end quote. In May of 2019, Dr. Bath passed away in San Francisco at 76 years old. We honor her advancements in the field of ophthalmology and presence in the International Women in Medicine Hall of Fame. Hear her power in this quote. When we would play nurse and doctor, I didn't want to be forced to play the role of the nurse. I wanted to be the one with the stethoscope, the one who gave the injections, the one in charge.
We hope you all had a great weekend and welcome back, juniors and seniors. This week is Homecoming Spirit Week and the theme is Marin. Are you dressed up to run or bike the Golden Gate Bridge today? Tomorrow, make sure to wear hippie gear for Bolinas Day and make some art or do some yoga. On Wednesday, it's Tiburon Day, so dress in fancy or preppy clothes and enjoy cooking a meal for you or your family. Thursday is Mount Tam Day, so don't forget to wear your nature colors and clothes, and we encourage you to spend some time outdoors hiking or walking. Friday, it's Central and North Marin Day, so let's bring it home with some Novato High spirit wear and support local businesses from our community.
To start off Homecoming Spirit Week, leadership is hosting a Marin-themed Kahoot today, Monday 8th at 12:30 p.m. So after class, join the Kahoot for a chance to win some NHS swag. The top 3 winners will be given fun Novato spirit wear and stickers.
Remember to vote for Homecoming Royalty. Every NHS student can vote. All you have to do is go to www.novato.votingforschools.com or download the Voting for Schools app. Your login is your 10-digit student ID number. Your password is your birthday, but very specific. No extra zeros in front of numbers, and you need to type in the slashes. For example, if my birthday was March 31st, 2004, I would type in my password as 3/31/2004. Voting ends on Thursday, March 11th at midnight, and royalty will be crowned on Friday at 3 p.m. on the NHS turf field. There's still a pandemic, so you can't come, but don't worry, we'll be live streaming the event on the @Novato High Instagram.
Novato High's homecoming rally will be virtual and posted on the Novato High YouTube March 10th at 12:30 p.m. We encourage you to go watch and see the national anthem performed by MSA Vocal, nominee videos, performance from different Novato groups, and have a chance to win spirit points for your class.
This week there will be a Spirit Day class competition for the chance to win 10 spirit points. The current point standings are at freshmen with 0 points, sophomores with 10 points, juniors with 20 points, and seniors with 0 points. All you need to do is DM your Spirit Day photos to your class Instagram account, or you can email nhsleadership625@gmail.com. You need to submit your photos by Thursday, March 11th at midnight. The winner will be announced at the Homecoming Court Royalty Ceremony on Friday at 3 p.m.
Current sophomores, have you given your input on next year's junior shirt yet? We have received some feedback, but we want more opinions. All current sophomores go to this link and help your class by filling out the survey and deciding the best option for all students in the class of 2023 next year. If you have any other ideas or designs for the shirt or jacket, please email them to Gianna Scafani at giscafani@students.nusd.org.
Attention junior and senior drivers. There's still a handful of spots available in the parking lot, so if you're interested, please contact Miss Searle as soon as possible.
Seniors, yearbook needs a few more baby photos. If you didn't already submit one, please email one to novatohighyearbook@gmail.com by Friday, March 12th.
The Swarm is back, Novato High's very own newspaper and news sources delivering the latest stories, videos, photos, and podcasts online. Check out novatoswarm.org and search around the many stories and articles impacting the Hornets world these days. If you're interested in being a Swarm reporter next year, email Mr. Rosenberg at jrosenberg@nusd.org. Quality journalists and reporters wanted.
And now for a couple athletic updates. There's a sports booster meeting tonight at 6 p.m. Join the Zoom if you're interested in supporting NHS athletics. This Friday, our swim team is competing against Branson at 4 p.m. at home. Spectators can check out a live stream of the NHS Swimming Facebook group. Girls tennis will also have an away game at TAM on Friday at 4 p.m. Girls soccer will be competing at home against Redwood on Saturday, and boys soccer will be away at Redwood. Good luck to all our athletes and stay safe out there. This week's Athlete of the Week is from Cheer and Dance. BB Silver has been a member of the NHS Cheer and Dance team for 4 years and 7 seasons. BB earned a position on the varsity team as a freshman. BB was a captain junior year and helped lead her team to 3 national, 3 regional, and 2 state championships. BB's team was also awarded the CIF Gold Award for Scholastics. BB is currently the head captain of her team. Coach Patty says, "I am proud to be here, Coach." Congrats, BB. And now, here's Amber.
Hey, Novato High. Glad to be back here. It's been a week now since we've gone hybrid. And how are you all with this? You know, just like last year when we went fully online, we're once again invited to step into the new, to step outside of our comfort zone. And maybe just like last year, we'll find, with time and patience, that we once again can find our way through this. And it's going to look unique and different to each of us. And we'll only know it by going through it, right? I want to continue the season for nonviolence as it relates to 2 recent events that have happened in our community that are important to address. And before I mention these events, I want to take a moment to remind us of what the Season for Nonviolence is. It's a 64-day national campaign dedicated to demonstrating the power of nonviolent action and practices to address existing injustices we see and to creatively transform our anger towards what we're for, what we want for our world, not just what we're against. And remember, nonviolence is not the opposite of violence. Sometimes violence is necessary for our survival, yet it doesn't have to be the only choice. Nonviolence is a way of life. It requires that we bring the best of our emotions, imagination, minds, bodies, our social, emotional, and communication skills to build relationships and connections across differences, and to address the violence, oppression, and injustice we see. And through nonviolent practice, we begin to understand the impact that violence and trauma has on all people, those who experience it, those who perpetuate it, and those who witness it. We also understand that connection and belonging is who we are. We all want to fit in and to feel like we're a part of something meaningful. And when we feel true connection and belonging, we tend to want others to experience this as well, which leads to a desire for the well-being of all. And lastly, we begin to understand that change happens when we define humanity not by its deficits and wrongs, but by our capacity to change and transform through action. So there are 6 principles of nonviolence that speak to these understandings, and I want to explore one of them this week because 2 events happened in our community. The first one is that a student reached out to me about my mentioning Gandhi in these announcements about nonviolence and how he's not a good representation of nonviolence because he's had a history of racism towards Black Africans, specifically in his youth, and a history of inappropriate sexual relationships with young women. This is true, and I thank this person for courageously reaching out to me to challenge how I was talking about the season for nonviolence. I want to make sure that I'm voicing all perspectives and being real with you all, and that we must not turn a blind eye to uncomfortable truths. And, despite his problematic past, as the founder of the nonviolence resistant movement, Gandhi's efforts to spread more nonviolent ways of being in the world changed millions of lives and helped inspire many people like Martin Luther King Jr. to catalyze powerful movements like the Civil Rights Movement. So it's important that we face injustice head on and speak to it. It's also important that we recognize that sometimes it's less about the leader and more about what the leader sparked in communities. So I'm stepping into the both and world with you all as we continue to strive for human rights and social justice for all. This speaks to one of Martin Luther King Jr.'s 6 principles of nonviolence. We attack forces of evil, not people doing evil. So people at events are not the problem. Violence is the problem. Injustice is the problem. Racism is the problem. The structures and conditions that continue the cycles of violence and teach people that it's not a problem is the problem. Structure and systems influence behavior. So this leads into the second event that happened in our community, and that was our Black History Month. And many of the Novato High staff put in hours of earnest work to prepare and create an experience that can celebrate the accomplishments of Black leaders as part of American history. And while many were touched by the assembly, some students didn't feel so connected with the assembly. One of the reasons being a desire to discuss the real injustices that people of color face related to police brutality and systemic racism. And what I value about these students speaking up is that there's a real desire to talk about the systemic issues we face about race and equity, and that they spoke up, right? Because being silent when it matters to speak up is a form of violence. And yet I want to invite us to practice this principle of nonviolence, that we do not seek to make the assembly wrong, but seek to address the conditions and issues that the assembly might not have addressed, and then organize to take action, right? Because once we begin to work on the systems level, the more we can help make change happen. So we want to make sure that all voices are heard in this matter and conversation about race, social justice issues, and Black History Month, and that there's a space for you to express your emotions in productive and constructive ways. Phoebe Smith, who's been the facilitator of our race relations coalition groups across the district, will be joining me in a lunch opt-in session this week on Wednesday from 12:30 to 1:30 to open up the space for any of you to come and talk about your experiences about the assembly and how that relates to the deeper systemic social justice issues we want to address for the well-being of all. So your teachers have the flyer to this, and we hope to see you there. And I also hope that this message speaks to the deeper part of all of us, the part of us that knows we're profoundly connected with each other, that our lives become more rich when our well-being is tied to the well-being of all, and that our voices matter in helping create that. See you next week.
That's it for your announcements today. Have a great Spirit Week, and as always, stay classy, Novato.